There goes the light. They're racing, and Vasari was being reined off the arm. 2-ply out wide, began quickly. In the middle is Raffaello, and also there Christian Major, and there's 4 across the track into that first turn. Further back in the field then came Better to Be Tricky, and then we go back on the outside of it to Pay Me Overs. Further back in the field then is Simply Clever as they run down the side of the track. Further back then is Premier Joy, and as they work into the stretch, the last couple are past the Spates and Sam is Perfection. That's the pattern as they work down the lane, and from barrier 1, Vasari was able to hold. Brittany Graham had a look across and sees 2-ply going up strongly on the outside, 36.6 the lead time, and in third spot on the leader's back going into the back straight is Better to Be Tricky. Next on the outside is Christian Major, who's into the 1, although caught deep there. Raffaello couldn't get in, so it presses forward, and it's being trailed by Past the Spates. Back on the inside came Simply Clever, Pay Me Overs, and the last pair are Sam is Perfection, and with it is Premier Joy. They run down the back of the track now. First split of the last mile is 29.8, and the leader Vasari working up to the breeze now is Raffaello, and Past the Spates working double overtime is looking to try and get around it to get into the chair. Next on the inside having a cosy smother up is Better to Be Tricky. Further back then to 2-ply, followed by Simply Clever, Christian Major, and well back in the field is Sam is Perfection. The last couple are Pay Me Overs, and with it is Premier Joy. They greet the judge, 1 round left to go. Second split. It was 28.4. So this has been run pretty slick here. 58 to the half. It's Vasari leading Better to Be Tricky past the Spates. They were followed next on the inside of those then by Simply Clever. Further back in the field then on the inside of those is Sam is Perfection. 2-ply takes off as Raffaello yields ground, and the rest are headed by Pay Me Overs. Down the back straight, Vasari led. Tapped up Better to Be Tricky, Simply Clever. They were followed further back in the field then by Past the Spates, who's gone. And then Sam is Perfection, Pay Me Overs, 2-ply, Vasari led. Better to Be Tricky is on a loose rein. 29-1 the quarter. They were followed further back then by Simply Clever, peeling out and getting to the outside at the right time. Sam is Perfection, Pay Me Overs. Better to Be Tricky comes out after this leader. Vasari gives it the go-by. Better to Be Tricky is dashed away. Late down the outside is Sam is Perfection when it's all over, but Better to Be Tricky is going to beat Sam is Perfection. Vasari getting out late to grab fourth, Pay Me Overs. Then came Simply Clever, Christian Major, followed by Premier Joy. Well back to finish then past the Spates, 2-ply, and at the tail end of the field was Raffaello.